Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. I'm sorry, as I said, the minister regrettably was caught in some traffic here in Washington, and as you can imagine, she is in very high demand. My name is Brian Finlay. I'm the president and CEO here at the Stimson Center. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome all of you here to the center. Illegal, underreported, and unregulated fishing is not only contributing to the significant depletion of global fish stocks, it is also, as many of you are aware, contributing to all manner of global ills, global food shortages, increasing the prospects for conflict, contributing to all manner of illicit trafficking, and as such, it is not just an economic issue and a development issue, it is every bit a national and indeed an international security issue as well. It's why we are particularly excited, really for two reasons, to be hosting this event today. Not only are we very pleased, Minister, that you were able to join us on a very busy schedule on your visit to Washington. As you know, as you are all aware, I think here in the room, Minister Susi is really at the leading edge of efforts to raise awareness around and to take action against IUU fishing in her own country and raise attention to this issue globally. So, Minister Susi Salamapagi, we're very pleased to welcome you, a very special welcome to Stimson. The second reason we're pleased to be hosting this event is that this is the very first time we welcome our newest Director of Environmental Security to the Stimson stage, Sally Yozell. She, like Minister Susi, I suspect requires no introduction to this room. Sally has dedicated her career really, to this issue, both inside of government, Department of Commerce, NOAA, as well as outside of government, and most recently joins us from the U.S. Department of State, where she served as Secretary Kerry's senior advisor on oceans. Sally is, I really can think of no one better placed to not just lead our work, but to lead this discussion here today. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sally Yozell.
Okay, I pushed it once. Did it work? Yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for those kind words. That was very sweet. Well, welcome everybody. I mean, as I look around the room and see so many friends and experts in the world of conservation and defense and intel, it's really heartening to see so many people coming out on a cold, almost rainy morning. So thank you all. I mean, Minister, I'm looking around, I see academia and industry and NGOs and a lot of our government agencies from Defense and Coast Guard and NOAA, USAID, and even I think I saw someone from one of our embassies, another embassy. So welcome everybody. It's really great to have you here. Let me also thank and give a shout out to Carolyn Weiss. Where's Carolyn? Carolyn, there you are. Hi, Carolyn Weiss is from the Ocean Caucus Foundation, who is co-sponsoring today's event. And I don't know how many are familiar with the Ocean Caucus Foundation, but it is a group that is really great. They support the Congressional Ocean Caucus in the U.S. Senate and House, and they also work with public and private sector folks with policymakers and parliamentarians all around the world to help educate them on conservation issues and in particular fisheries issues. So we're very grateful to have Carolyn here. And I also want to thank Monica Medina from the Walton Family Foundation for supporting today's event and supporting so much of the work we do here. So Brian said it all. I don't have to really go into it, but why are we here at the Stimson Center anyways? I mean, it's because of that real linkage between environmental issues and U.S. and national and global policy, and environmental security program, which that I'm thrilled to be overseeing right now, really is trying to bring together the knowledge on IUU fishing right now in particular and how it affects global and national security around the world. So I'm not going to go into too many details other than to say that we all know that with IUU fishing, there are also a lot of other illicit activities, whether it be weapons, drugs, and human trafficking and other issues such as that. And if a country is sort of on the margin, they can flip quickly into instability or chaos when food security or fishing or other issues are really turned upside down. And so with that, I'm just thrilled to death to be able to welcome championed the fight against IUU fishing. Indonesia's Minister of Fisheries and Maritime Affairs, Susi Pudjiastuti, who is known to all of us as Minister Susi. Minister Susi assumed her position in 2014, and since that time she has really worked tirelessly to protect Indonesia's economic and environmental needs together, understanding about that. She's been an unwavering advocate for improving fisheries management, modernizing their seafood industry and processing and export, and has taken a pretty hard line on a stance against foreign fishing vessels entering their sovereign waters. She is a recipient of many awards, and including the Peter Benchley Award for Excellence in National Stewardship, which she received last night, and that was very exciting to see that. So with that, we are thrilled to hear Minister Susi's perspective on Indonesia's fight against IUU, and so we welcome you. Thank you.
Good morning, Sally. Good morning, everybody. So I apologize for the delay. We had been, there are some jobs that have to be done in Indonesia, and has to do some taping for Indonesia culinary festival for fish product, because that's what we try to increase our fish consumption. So 2014, our fish consumption is only 36 kilograms. And the last 2 years, we made it to 43 kilograms per person. And we targeting to 47 because we had more fish right now. So, but yes, thank you for introducing me as one of the champion is too high. But yes, we do continue take a very tough stand against IUU fishing, and why we did that, we had reasonable reason, strong reason to do it. And I now can say that everyone has to fight illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. After 2 years, we had been analysis, evaluating, investigating, and take actions and law enforcement against illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. So let me start to give you a highlight how we start to do this. When I was appointed by President Joko Widodo, 2014 October, of course many controversy and protest against his nomination to put me in these positions. Since everyone knows, education background, I would say, is not very common for a minister to only have a high school diploma. Not even high school diploma, because I only have just up to second grade, so not even finished my high school. So, with all the protests that he has, people did not really aware, and some of them probably understand that I had 30 years experience in fishery trading. So that's my background to basically one of the background that at least I'm confident I can do my job. I knew a lot about Indonesia because the last 10 years before my post, I was running a small commuter airline called Susi Air. The business started from the tsunami relief at 2004 in Aceh. We never planned to have an airline, so we see the seafood is raw material is getting decreased, and I want to reach the higher the value on the business of seafood chain is the fresh and the live product. With the lack of transportation infrastructure in my country, I live in small village at Indian Ocean side of West Java border to Central Java. I need 12 hours to 14 hours to take our lobster, our fish to Jakarta. So the mortality is very high, and the live and the dead lobster price is 80% difference. I tried to convince the bankers for 4 years to get the loan to have an aircraft to carry my live product to Jakarta for an hour. But nobody believed me. So it takes 4 years to convince the bankers for the first 2 planes. And then the plane arrived, the tsunami struck in Aceh. So I decided to help the relief because many problems with the short runway. Many runway are broken. So we deployed the 2 planes there, the brand new 1-month plane from Cessna, Grand Caravan. And we helped there and starting to also assist the relief for 2 weeks free. And then I want to leave back to my seafood business. But then the people want me to stay. And I said, I can't fly for free. No money anymore. So the Red Cross started chartering. That's how the business is starting. And then the plane become 50 by the time, and we also work in Papua, in east part of Indonesia. That's how I see many things. And we realized that the seafood material are really deplete so deep, almost nothing anymore. The lobster from 2 tons a day to only 10, 20 kilos a day within 6 years, 6 to 8 years. We thought it's been overfishing from ourselves. We didn't know what's happened. But after I have another line, I start getting puzzled. So many big boats in the sea. And it's like a big city in the night in the sea. So when I become a minister, I see that the first thing we have to tackle. And I start having the data from the department where we lost from 1.6 million fisheries households left to only 800,000. So 50% less from 2003 to 2013. And also 115 seafood factories processing are also shut down. Of course, some of them are mismanagement, but most of them are because we don't have enough raw material anymore to process. And then I see what's the problem, and I start looking at the foreign fishing vessel concession that we had, because 2004 Indonesia start nationalized the foreign fishing vessel to have fishing concession by registered into Indonesian flag. And we see there is about 1,300 license had been issued by our department. But in fact, reality is 10 times more than what we issue. So I discussed with my president. His mission is to put the nation's future from the ocean. We're not allowed anymore to see the ocean as our backyard, but we see it as our future, as our front part of the house. So there are a lot to do. So, and I give him some proposal for doing this, and I'll start looking at the legal base of our constitutions, and I found one very interesting paragraph that offer everything so weak, but there is one clause we can sink every single illegal fishing vessel that catch fish illegally in our water. So I propose that to my president. Takes quite weeks to move to realize that plan, because this illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing had been happened for decades. The last 1 decade is very massive because they have the legitimations of the concession, so they can be registered as Indonesian flag vessel. So anyway, it start to we have meetings with Navy, Army, police, and all institutions that is involved, Coast Guard. But I also realized my department had been a part of this practice because the license issued by our department, and other security and everything are enforced by all the other institutions. So it's not easy. So I called the ambassadors of our neighbor country, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, and Australia. And we discussed. We have lunch for quite long lunch, 6 hours, talking A, B, C, because then I want to actually deliver. I will sink every single fishing vessel from your country if I found them illegal in this country. So that is the short message. But it's been very, it's a delicate issue. And I said, so please announce in your country about this. And I will not take any compromission. So for that, no, how you call it? We have there will be prosecuted, it will be executed, it will not be negotiation, nothing. So please announcing it. So, and I can invite, I also can take them to talk to the press because I already prepared the media in the front of the office. After that, so they support me for fight IUU fishing. And they agree. I said, yeah, Excellency, I'm the most uneducated minister in this government, and I have the biggest portfolio. So the only thing to be able sufficient running my job, you have to help me and assist me. So that's what I discussed with those 6 ambassadors, and they agree. So, and after that, I start calling one by one the how you call it, the proxy or the agents, So big businessman, quite high-ranking profile in politics, in society, and so one by one. I'm not calling them in one, so about one by one. And I asked them frankly, I said, look, you have this business for a long time. I have to fix the problem. If we want to put the missions of the government, ocean is very important part. So I have to clean up this problem. And I want you to stop. You all have power, you all have money, you all have anything that can be used to fail me as a minister. But I think we had been good friends. No business, no relation, but we had been good friends. I knew you, you knew me, so it's up to you. You move your ship, that's what will be happen. So now you shut down all the operations, stop, and I issued a moratorium for ex-foreign fishing vessel. That is Minister Decree Regulation number 56 for 6 months to do the analysis evaluation. And the second is the number 57 is a ban on transshipment, because that's the problem. Because we actually never see this ship, thousands of ships in the port, never. They're all doing everything offshore. So without ban on transshipment, you will never find them. So moratorium for ex-foreign fishing vessel above 30 gross tonnage, and the second is the ban on transshipment. And that's done, and we see the ship coming into the port, hundreds of them. But I think some of them are very smart. They also calculate what I will do next. So only half of them are basically land to the port. And after that, we start investigating analysis one by one, what boat coming from where, what flag state before, and things like that. And yeah, from the businessmen that I call, or the agents, I got the confirmation they are duplicating, doubling the license. So if they have one license, they might have 10 boats, the same color, the same name, the same number. And the smallest of those boats are 30, I think 30 is only the Philippines palm boat. But the rest from China, Thailand are all big ships. So it's 100, 200, 500, 800. And tramper, there are many tramper with the size of 3,000, 5,000 gross tonnage. Tramper is the one basically picking up the collecting. And we find out more things than just stealing fish. We find out that the tramper coming from outside to Indonesia are carry anything that they can carry, smuggling. So without custom appropriate declaration, food, fruits, beer, alcohol, others, drugs, cement, construction materials, and everything without any custom declaration. Because that's one of the things we learned, the illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing operation is the most sufficient business logistically that can be run, because in and out are filled up, and they do this all over Indonesia. So basically, making the whole economy also disrupted, because there is no competition anymore. So all industry are collapsed because have to against the product that is coming in without any declaration, any tax, nothing. So, and out with all the fish, but also the endangered species animal. They take birds, crocodile, deer, anything they can take from New Guinea, from our Papua, from Ambon. They are very well known with the parrots, with the paradise bird, turtle, and any they can take. So we shut them down, and then now start. Finally, after 2 years, we see numbers remarkably. Of course, it's shocking everyone. Yeah, so everybody that we can do that, and our GDP on fisheries increased higher than ever, with almost zero foreign fishing vessels. So basically, just with local, traditional, our 100, 200 gross ton local fishermen, and we have our GDP 50% more than national GDP. That's the first time than before. And the fish commodity contribute to deflation because the price is down, and anything else was increased in inflate because government cut the subsidy of fuel, of electricity, of many other subsidy, because we want to have a healthier economy. But fisheries commodity are the only one contribute to deflation. And the MSY of our fish stock from 6.5 tons in the first year goes to 7.1 million tons. And then on the second year go to 9.9 million tons. And I heard, if I'm not mistaken, is above 12 million this year. We will wait for the official release. And the GDP on fisheries, I think last year was 8.3. This year, this early quarter, 7 point something. I forgot today. So, but anyway, no, the yellowfin is caught by 2-meter little boat. The fish that had been missing for 20 years. The anchovy is back. In my hometown, we have anchovy. We have a big king prawns, 200, 300 gram size. And we also regulate for sustainability. So the pillar for our KKP mission is the first sovereignty, to make sure that we have the sovereignty of our natural resources, our marine resources. The second is sustainability. We forbid the export of lobster below 200 grams, because I finally realized that the lobster gone because Indonesia catch the juvenile, the fishermen, the 3 grams.
So
they export, and that's what they do. Yeah.
if we could wrap, because I'm looking around
Yeah,
the room and
okay.
I'm seeing people starting to raise their hands already.
Okay.
There's so many questions people have for you. Would you like to just wrap before
Yeah.
we?
So just one
Yeah.
the whole thing. The economy contribute deflation, and then the fuel company saving 37% of national fuel before. So they're not only stealing our fish, but use our fuel, which is subsidy by the government. And then the MSY high, and I try to have more cooperation with Pacific and Africa, because I think they do have the same problem. And I can encourage everyone that combat IUU fishing is a lucrative business, because it gives you billions of dollars money back. And what I spend in my department for surveillance, bombing the boat, and it's only $8 million in 2 years. So the $8 million investment give you back billions of dollars. So. And fish everywhere. That's all.
Wow, thank you for that. I mean, What a great story, not just a personal story, but really talking about the importance of sustainability, both economic and natural resources. And I have to say, I think
I have to give a part of the personal, because sometimes the people don't really understand how do you know about that things, that's the question.
I know it's
Indonesia
fantastic.
is so big, yes.
But I mean, I think I read somewhere you've blown up as many as 350 vessels at this point.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we still have another 100 to do.
Okay, all right. So everyone
and we keep
be
getting them
forewarned.
every week, 10 to 15 of them. So.
Wow. So I'm going to ask a quick question, and then I know is Matt still here from the AP? Oh, right in front of me, of course. One of the questions I have, I mean, obviously blowing up vessels and taking a tough stance and really being, serious about this. I'm just curious, what are the tensions in your region? I mean, with China and the Philippines, I mean, the governments, have they been problematic?
At the moment, the tension for our natural resources is very critical, because now China do moratorium starting the 1st May. If you haven't searched the article, you will see thousands of the ship now, the fishing vessel are basically parked in the port. Thailand do starting from April, Vietnam as well. So the last, this year, I think we confiscate more than 2 years ago, because now everyone close, and they're really, really close. And but yeah, we have to continue to stand in the same positions. We can't change. As you know, Indonesia with 97,000 kilometers of coastal lines, 5.8, and we had only, I think, Navy, Coast Guard, all total, our ship are only 200 maybe. So it's very little capacity. And I think that deterrent effect is the only way we can. But at the moment, yes, we had a bit some, not fear, but we see how pressure is. So at the moment, sometimes 100, 200 boats in one group coming. So all we can do is take 10 of them, because we don't have many in one area. And this is like all spot. And this is the struggle point of us right now. And we need help, we need assistance on capacity, on surveillance, on patrolling, on many. And otherwise, all what we have, the milestone we have will be also gone. And the second verse is now the political pressure is start coming. So they go now inside. And they start, how you call it, twisted the story.
Lobbying and telling
Yeah,
the
lobby,
story,
it goes to, so no, not only from outside, but it's...
Within the...
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
well, that's, I mean, you've got a lot of folks here who are technologists and industry folks, as well as government, U.S. government officials who are, their agencies are helping USAID and NOAA and Coast Guard. But let's start with Matt, who I know has a question.
Hi, I'm Matthew Benton from AP Associated Press. Minister, welcome to DC.
Thank you. You mentioned about a moratorium by other countries, China and other countries. That's a moratorium on
the area, on the sea territorial.
Forbidding foreign vessels coming into their waters.
No, for their own.
Uh-huh.
For their own fishermen.
Yeah.
They also have moratorium on fishing.
Within their own waters.
Within their own waters.
Oh, I see. Okay. So has this had a negative effect on Indonesia's foreign relations with its neighbours? And also, you've blown up many ships. It seems that there haven't been many ships from China that have been blown up. Is there any particular reason for that?
Okay, so we don't have complaints, yes, but it's complaint only behind. So they got the warning, and they understand our constitutions. And I said to them, I think poaching fish are not a part of good bilateral relationship. I don't think that's on the clause of two country good relationship. So as easy as that on answering them. So, but yeah, Australia do the same for every Indonesian's fishing vessel. But the difference is Australia doesn't publicize. Yeah, we publish because we need the deterrent effect to be announced, to be acknowledged. And second, your question is on China. So the China are very afraid if we sink their ship. So most of them are run by corporate, and they don't do when we give the moratorium. We have failed to catch few in Natuna because the Coast Guard are escorting the fishing vessel. But we did blow up 2, but it's with Indonesian flag. So most of them are already registered on Indonesian flag. So that's not true that we give different treat. It is not easy to catch them because they are bigger, faster, and they normally in Natuna area is escorted by the Coast Guard.
By the Chinese Coast Guard.
Yeah, but last month we got one dredger with Chinese flag, but it's leased by Malaysian company who dredge the ship wreckage in our territorial. That's 8,000 gross tonnage. But we get the people, the seamen, the crew, but then they can escape. But now we have already issued purple notice to Interpol, and Malaysia Coast Guard got them, and we will exchange with 2 tankers that we got that is chased by Malaysians, and that's what we will do. So I have no exceptions. So as I always stand, if American fishing vessel also poaching, I also will got. So that's my answer. So
Beware. So obviously you're talking about sharing information and data is so critical to the enforcement as well as the using this opportunity as a deterrent. I think a lot of people here have been working on a lot of that. Let me open it up for questions for people here in the room. Yes, and if you could say who you are. I mean, many of you know each other, but a few may not.
Kelly Curry from Project 2049. Selamat pagi, Ibu Susi. I wanted to ask you, to follow up on Matt's question, when the Chinese Coast Guard accompanies these vessels into Indonesian territorial or EEZ waters, what kind of discussions does your government then have with China about incursions by their official flagged vessels, not corporate or business people, but by Chinese flagged vessels that are representatives of the Chinese state coming into your waters without permission?
At the moment, for territorial, as what it stated, also by foreign ministerial and also their side, is of course if you talk about 9 dust line, it seems that dust are some into our water, but they say there is no dispute, so they don't claim it. So it just draw it. So, but for me, it's more clear. Once it's still in my EEZ, that's my fish. Once they're swimming over the EEZ, that's yours. You can take it. But of course, the clashes happen because the fishing boat are sometimes coming a bit inside into our EEZ, and there are several incidents. But few we got them, and we have I think 2 or 3 about that. 5 now, but 3 already Indonesian flag. Yeah, 3 already as Indonesian flag. So 2 is in Natuna. Since we want to build the IUU fishing museum, we will pull it to our port in Pangandaran. So they will join the one from Spain. I think was Spain, but with Equatorial New Guinea flag, the one we caught Viking with 32 flag state in it.
Wow.
Yeah, flag state 32. So that's I think it's very simple understanding between us and the China side on this. So I do understand they want to escort as possible, but of course it's tough for us. What we do, we have not to increase our capacity. I was discussing with Japan, and Japan will assist us with some more capacity with coastal radar on the border area. Might also US can do, helping us on this also, so to protect better. Because I think if they know we are tight on surveillance, on watching, I think they also will not try. But of course, the problem sometimes they think we don't have the capacity. So and that will be our lack of capacity right now, and we try to increase as fast as we can and as strong as we can. But of course, assisting from your side with the satellite that we had been doing with NOAA, with Australia also assists us a lot on the satellite and surveillance, and also helping us on investigation. So, but yeah, we have other also obstacle here and there, but it's not going to stop us to continue our battle, so our fight. Since we know what we gain, since we know what we actually earn, is also respect. God, so they cannot just do anything anymore, which before more than 10,000 foreign fishing vessels just fish like in their own country. So no, not anymore. And hopefully with this we have a better relationship with our neighbor. And I think now they start realizing that they have to also reserve their fish stock. So they start doing moratorium. I think it's bring a good moral, how you call it, awakening. So that you cannot just do that all the time. Yeah, but of course, the business side, the people who earn from this business, they're the one who will try anything. And right now, they go inside the political society, they go to the business society, try to twist your success. So, oh no, you have 12 million, but your capacity of fishing vessel are only this. So why you don't do concess? Because then you waste your increase your excess of stock and things like that. And they start also do the personal attack, like only blowing ship. Even the stupid can do it. So that's now the media campaign from few party members and things start attacking.
Well, we're not used to those kind of campaigns here in our own country. But that said...
I think I heard it worse, yeah.
So you've really talked about how it really is a global effort in support of your capacity, and we have several of the agencies here who have been supporting you. And so, I mean, our government really relies on the Indonesian government as an anchor of security in that part of the region, both defense and other aspects of it. Does your government come back and say, we need help on our natural resources to the U.S., like, for example, USAID has been very helpful with capacity for you. Is it a two-way street in the communication on that?
I think we do very, very good so far. I discuss a lot with your ambassador in Jakarta. That's of course our first contact in Jakarta, and we do last time in the Ocean Summit in Bali together discuss a few issues. Of course, I would love if we can the American can also assist us more into we built now the outer islands to develop industry, processing, freezing facility, and logistics. So I would love if there is an American company, FedEx or DHL or whatever, can transport from the northern of East Indonesia to Palau, and then Palau to Japan or to US, because it's a pity. At the moment they have many big tuna 30, 40, 50, 70 kilogram. And they brought it to Bitung, and Bitung they used for canning, for loin, but frozen. So if we can sell them fresh, that would be something very valuable for the economy, more value basically can get, as well as the southern part of East Indonesia, to Darwin, to Cairns, to Brisbane, and from there to international side.
I think I see a Fed Susie in the future. FedEx Susie. Anna Maria.
I'm Anna Marie from RARE. We're an organization that's been working on community-based fisheries management in Indonesia for about the last 5 years, and happy to partner with MMAF in several locations. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about this transition from sovereignty to sustainability, and as you think about increasing infrastructure and production, how do you ensure that production really goes to benefit the small-scale fishers and the community fishers who are reaping the benefits of what you've done to close the waters to foreign fishing, and now we want to make sure that they also can fish sustainably and not be back in the same position where there's overcapacity or overfishing. You said last night protecting future generations so they can use the fish.
Yeah, we issued Minister Regulation number 1 and number 2, ban on trawlers, especially for big size cantrang and trawlers. This is what the issue right now are brought to the political electability. So, but we still keep the regulations, and we already have the the allocation management on fishing allocations. Yeah, so there is already this area number, and how many boat can be there, and what kind of nets and things like that. That's at the moment we regulate up to that point now. It's not easy because last time, since a bit worry on the political side, we extend the use of trawlers until the trawling nets until the end of this year, which before should be finished on the June this year. So we extend 6 months, but after that cannot anymore. Of course, we also have to fight now destructive fishing that's still happening, and and pollutions, of course, the plastic debris and many other. We work on it. So.
Great. I'm going to first Joanna, and then we'll go over to Michelle.
Minister Susi, Johanna Polsenberg with Conservation International. On one hand, I feel that with the complexity of Indonesia's coastlines and geography, it seems that if you can do it, the lesson for so many other countries around the world. I worked in Gabon on Central Africa for a while, and we told the president, if you can stop illegal fishing, you'll have more fish, cheaper fish for your own people, and more fish to leave in the ocean for sustainability, exactly what you're saying. I think I don't know if there's necessarily a question in here, but just a reinforcement of what you're saying about this is what we need. So many countries, they will start to say, all right, we're going to tackle this, and we have 2 patrol boats for an EEZ, So the message that you have, I was going to ask you if other countries have already been coming to you saying, okay, how do we do this? But then on top of it, you're saying, okay, this is what we need. We need border enforcement. We need more boats. I mean, that getting out and saying, if Indonesia can do it, you country with one coastline, you can probably do it as well. But I just want to, on one hand, just thank you so much. Encourage you that what you're doing is you're setting an example for the rest of the world, and then also ask you what have other countries been coming to you, and what do you feel, what are you sharing with them?
Last Interpol General Assembly in Bali, I was deliver my speech, and of course many chief of police from Africa, Pacific, from 169. After that finished, of course, they're all coming and following me, and they say, Minister, can we borrow you from your government? But I try to encourage them to start doing and explain them what lucrative business combat IUU fishing is. It's a fact that they probably don't even think, and they start now having clue, and I think there are a lot of countries that's already feel the benefit when they start cooperate on this. Argentina, an example. They finally can enforce penalty to China vessel that been shoot in Argentina and then escape, and then we got them, and we used the MLA, the mutual legal assistance, to hold the ship until they pay the process of court are done and they pay the penalty, then we release. So at least now they understand they get less room to go away. And Africa, I think now the Greenpeace last time take some government officers and then got 7 of China vessels. And Palau was shooting, I think, 2 or 3 already, and but it is not easy because normally the business is so, the earning is very high, very, very high yield business. And normally they play with the government officer, with the political influence, very top ranking. So it has to be, for me it was easy because the president endorsed and approved it. But even the first time for us is take 3-4 times high level meeting and still not happen. Because exactly that's what happened is already have been happened for many years. And just remind me to what you say about sustainability. We also regulate the maximum size of fishing vessel that can operate in our EEZ, and also they have a zonation. So above these, maximum 200 gross tonnage for transportation vessel, and for fishing vessel 150. That's what we do so far. So I know it's not easy to be very tough to inside, so it's slowly. So later we will also sizing the net size, the mast size. So, and that's what we do. We try not to work with Timor-Leste and New Guinea, but it would be helpful if you work together with work with Australia, and taking them, engage them more into sustainability on their marine resources, the New Guinea and the Timor-Leste. Work together with Fiji, but need compensations. And some of the problem is also because they're dependent on economy, and so they have to allow this fishing vessel to be there. But to see humanity abuses, human rights abused, the smuggling, drugs, and everything else, I also start to encourage New Zealand to stop contest their license on fishing on their territorial, because I think it's also brought increase on drug smuggling in Australia's side, and work closely with. I think last was South Africa. We have some joint communiques signed, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka also. So we try to engage the whole with IORA, an example. I want to call them more closer, so to engage them into. But the problem is there are many countries they don't have fishing capacity also. Their fisheries capacity is not there, and if they will be there, and this is not stopped, there's nothing also to start with. And one of other thing, I'm encouraging the UN, the EU to support our mission to brought this into United Nations, that illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing to be declared as a transnational organized crime, because is all in it. They have several flag states that go through many state ownership changing, and what we learned from Viking, an example, the operator are the BV company or the Shell company is even in state in Singapore. They communicate, And with the fisheries transparency, we have to be also aware that several label company that can be the laundry machine of the blackfish become whitefish. And this is what I think we have to be aware of that. And we learn from several cases, our investigation, it goes to very prestigious company. That's what we got. And so you cannot just label, oh, this is organic, oh, this is green, oh, this is already appropriate catch, appropriate legal fish. This label is sometimes is just it's a laundry. And I think this is what we have to be aware.
So being mindful of the time, how much time do we have, Avi? About 10 more minutes? About 5 more minutes, I can tell by that. Okay. Why don't we start?
10 minutes.
Okay, why don't we start here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions pending. Let's see if we can get through them.
Thanks very much, Sally, and thank you very much, Madam Minister. You have a lot of admirers in this room. I speak for myself and say that it's been very impressive to see what you've been able to do. You mentioned just a second ago about the difficulties that you've been experiencing with laundering fish, with the commingling of legal and illegal, and earlier in your remarks you mentioned an example of how many vessels are oftentimes fraudulently using a single license, and how that's another problem you're facing. So I was wondering if you could talk for a moment about the efforts that Indonesia is making with regard to making all data more transparent about vessels, about production, about the fish themselves at all stages along the way, since that traceability, transparency, putting a spotlight on the data does seem to also be an effective deterrent in the same way as blowing up a boat on the water. Thank you.
I think for Indonesia right now, it's the only country who open everything. We share our famous data with Google Fishing Watch, Global Fishing Watch, I think. And we wish that other country will do the same. But yeah, it's always business. There are good guy, bad guy, and they try to avoid the tax. They try to avoid transparency and many things like that. But I think there should be some force from United Nations, FAO, or what institution that can be enforced that everyone should do the same things. And at the moment we are very open, and we move forward to that. We don't want to how you call it, hide things anymore. This is from the government side. And I do believe this spirit are very strong right now, because Indonesia, with such a size of oceans right now, the economic contributions on tax-wise, on income-wise, to the government is not yet very small percentage. So we have to make it more transparent. We have to make it more open, and we commit to it. But problem is, what I see, there are other countries that they don't want to do this. So how can we do this? And PSMA is a good initiative. What's that measures agreement? But problem is, those bad guys, they don't need port. They do everything offshore. So, and this is the problem. How you tackle this? And this is the question.
So, thank you. Yeah, port state measures, we need them everywhere, so the transshipment boats, everybody has to be.
Like every single thing you put on the card on the table, they already do something different.
They go around.
Yeah. So
we call that whack-a-mole in the United States. Let me, yes.
I like it. What's that you call?
Whack-a-mole.
Oh, whack-a-mole.
Thank you. I'm Richard Cronin with the Stimson Center. Just a quick question. To what extent are you studying, or what do you know about the data on what would be the sustainability in Indonesian waters if you optimized, keeping other boats out and effectively regulating fisheries in Indonesian waters? I mean, have you studied what the upper limit of sustainability is in that area?
What we have researched and analyzed in the last from the biomass level on our water, it was the increase from the 6.5 to 7.1, 9.1, and 9.9, and then now 12 million. So we expect with all those parameters, the boat that catch that fishing is not bigger than 150 gross tonnage, at the maximum of 10,000 boat, and then we ban on trawlers, nets. We're gonna regulate the porciners and all this we're gonna put. I do believe we can go back to the MSY before year 2000, about 15 to 17 million. So how much is the stock sustainable you can catch I think is depend to what you do on it. So how many conservation area you protect. Bigger. What I try not to convince everyone is that, look, when you deal with natural resources, you manage natural resources, especially renewable marine resources. Restriction that you do or regulation that you do on it to manage it more sustainable is only go to one direction, more productivity. But convince this or try to sell this to businessmen, they think you are disconstructive to industry. And how to both this understanding on business side that, hey, if you do not think of that, you shoot yourself on your foot. But yeah, greed. I think in the end of the day, what we all try on preserving and defend and hold the sustainability of your marine resources is greed. That is the biggest threat.
Yeah, I think that's a global issue for sure.
The problem is demand are higher now.
The demand.
The diets, the understanding of people on health are taking also a toll on pressuring the seafood.
It's the good news and the bad news.
And the problem is now they try also to get the offshore aquaculture and things like that. The problem with this aquaculture, they need feed.
Right.
And the confit need the fish meal. So they got to fish more with the porciners. So it's a cycle that in a way it seems to be an answer of your ambitions to reach the demand and supply, or to not dependent too much on natural resources because for its sustainability. But we also, while we grow the aquaculture, the modern aquaculture more, you also threaten your sustainability where you want to get, So the balance in it is so delicate, and this needs a very strong assistance from academic, from scientists. I'm more into the side that, aquaculture is good. But for Indonesia, an example, they hit the regulation of the lobster juvenile. Why you ban them to be exported to Vietnam, but why you also ban for your people to grow them on aquaculture? Yeah, I say, why should? Because the sea are already a big aquaculture, which you don't have to take care. Right? Yes. You just have to harvest them on the good size. But of course, politicians paid by the businessman who so far exporting the juvenile doesn't take it that way, and they twisted the opposite. And it's a lot of
It's a puzzle. It's a big, giant jigsaw puzzle with a lot of, as you say, it's a delicate balance on all sides.
Yeah.
Let's have one more question. Okay. Why don't we have one more question here? And then I will wrap with a question, and then we'll end.
Hi, thanks for being here. I'm Tamara Thomas from the Nature Conservancy, representing Maria Damanaki. I'm the Global Ocean Policy Advisor. And one of the questions we have is directly, how can TNC help Indonesia implement the Port State Measures Agreement? And also, we're looking forward to the next our ocean conference in 2018. We know that you guys will be planning this. And so if you have any specific topics that you're thinking about, we'd love to know how we can help Indonesia. We have a lot of contacts in the EU and Japan and a presence in those places, and we're very willing to help Indonesia. As well, we're also shifting a lot to policy work, and we're doing a lot with the BBNG negotiations. So perhaps there we can find a complementary answer to implementing Port State Measures Agreement.
I think for Port State Measures Agreement, we need assistance, capacity building on harbor, crewing, staffing, the people to understand what, and also the system on the from the logistically and everything. But as what I said before, PSMA is not very sufficient yet right now to tackle the problem of IUU fishing, because this guy who do IUU, they don't go to near port. So they have their own way on supply logistic. And they already know, they understand that Indonesia is joined the PSMA, so they don't try to come. But what we see, we of course developing a better capacity on handling your port, to have much better oversight, overlook, control, and appropriate run on they make the traceability better and everything. That's very important, and we do need assistance on this. But expecting that PSMA will solve a part of IUU problem, with all that I acknowledge, I don't think that yet sufficient. So, because again, they don't use the port. So they don't want to be seen.
Yeah. So let me just close with not just a thank you, but I mean, you've brought so many issues today. I mean, the importance of science, the importance of traceability, the importance of boldness, enforcement, surveillance, monitoring, management. I mean, you've hit all of the critical topics, security, I'm going to say boldness again. So for my own personal interests, one last question, which is, you are hosting our ocean conference in 2018. Have you started to think about that, and is there things that people here in the room can do to be supportive of that effort?
If we all of you can be our sponsor on not only the financial side, but also on work to make it more, exposed, more better on convincing with the whole work and event. That would be very nice, of course.
Great. Well, I know everyone here will definitely be supportive.
If you can be #1 assistant on it, would be nice.
Okay.
So I can continue watch my seas, and someone is running with Paota for the ocean conference.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very, very much. We are so grateful, and you are such a hero to everyone in this room and globally, so many people. Thank you very much.